Hello everyone, Crash here, this is RTA Motorsports. Today we're going to be talking about not the OneWheel Plus XR right here, but these bad boys. These are the Overlander lifters, the titanium model. Here we go.
Welcome to RTA Motorsports.
Alright everyone, if you're new to the channel, I go by Crash. We do a lot of sim racing content, live streams, product reviews, simulation reviews. But not only that, I also do a lot of real track days in my Camaro ZL1, as well as some drifting here and there. Definitely stay tuned if you like to see a lot of that content. This is my most recent passion. I absolutely love OneWheel. We did get that OneWheel GT pre-ordered on the first day, so if you want to see a comparison video between that and this, stay tuned to this channel for a lot of that content in the near future. But today we're going to be talking about the Overlander lifters and what the heck are these and why would you even want them? What do I think about them? Anyway, all right, here we go. So let me just go into a little bit of backstory about why I was even looking for another thing to upgrade on my OneWheel Plus XR. You can see I have a lot of upgrades on this XR here, but I don't have a lot of board experience. I've actually been holding off on this review because I've only been riding for about 8 months at this moment here, and I'm not a pro by any means. This is the first board sport that I've been semi-successful at. I've had some pretty gnarly falls so far, and I do wear enough gear to qualify me as a snowman rolling around the trails to try to keep myself safe. But all that being said, I do enjoy pushing the limits of what I'm capable of, and I do enjoy trail riding. We have some awesome trails up here in Northern California, and I am very, very lucky that we are also surrounded with a lot of very talented one-wheelers. Now, when going down some of these trails, I started noticing that my feet were, specifically my front foot, was like skipping off the front pad. Now, I don't have the best mobility. When I was younger, I had ankle reconstructive surgery on my left ankle. So I just started noticing around some of the chunkier trails that we have, my left foot sometimes would skip, and it would just make a really sketch situation where my toes were basically half on the front pad. I would have to stop, reset my my footing, and probably lose the rest of the group I was just riding with. So I've always been wanting something to give me a lockdown feeling, something that was not quite like bindings, of course, but something that would really cinch me down to the board when I wanted to, and I would still be able to get out of whatever it is whenever I needed to, right? So a lot of people in our group and in our community, they use these. These are called flight fins, and they are extremely popular in the one-wheel community. They mount, I do still have my flight fenders on, and they mount in several different ways in the front and back, depending on if you ride goofy or regular. They do is your feet basically sit underneath here, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And you get a little bit of grip. A lot of people use them for tricking. Floaty McFly uses them. A lot of prominent riders use them, and they're able to do some amazing things with them. Problem with these with me, and you can see I have even the extensions on these. I've rode with these for about 2 months, and I really tried to like them. It forced my stance too far in. And I started noticing I was having a lot of weird knee pains, a lot of weird hip pains, and I was never comfortable. Kind of felt like my legs were being forced inward, and it just didn't work for me. Now, with Overlander lifters or the flight fins, you could ride with one of them, you could ride with both of them. You don't have to ride with both, or you could interchange these depending on your stance, your wants, or needs. But for me, I was trying to ride with both of these here, and it just didn't work for me. It just was way too much of a narrow stance. So I went back to the drawing board, started doing some more research, and I came across Colton Palmer's product here, and that is the Overlander line, specifically the lifters. After reading his story, I felt like we were one and the same as far as what was needed, what we actually wanted. He developed this product because he was actually already in development of the product. He just didn't have the full idea out yet, but he was developing something to basically give him a locked-in feel. Of course, a lot more of a talented rider than I am, on a whole nother level than I am, but he was going down basically a Colorado resort and I think it was in the snow too, and his front foot slipped off and he slammed into gravel, hurt his heel and everything like that. You could just, you could see that story and just understand that he was wanting something to lock his foot down, and as he was in development in his mind, his foot slipped off and he ended up injuring himself. So that's when he came out with the Overlander lifters. And these here are, again, the titanium model. You can see we do have a 3D printed TPU material here, and this is what's going to have your foot sit underneath it and give you that locked in feel. It only mounts with the front two or the rear two screws on the board, so it mounts really easily. You can put it on, take it off very easily, and it mounts pretty much like that. I ordered the titanium models not only because it's pretty cool and it kind of harkens back to a lot of automotive equipment, titanium and everything like that, but also the titanium models, according to Colton, was actually going to be the one for my specific use, would give me a little bit more clearance to actually see the headlights and the taillights, and I kind of wanted to maintain that. He does have aluminum models, he does have wide models, he does have them for the Pint X, but again, I'm just going to give you my experience with my OneWheel Plus XR here. And I've been riding with these for a few months, and I gotta say I absolutely love them. The main thing is when I'm rolling with them, they are like that. They are mounted just like this here, and I'm able to mount them and use them with also still maintaining the wide stance that I really like. Now, the common question I get all the time is, aren't you afraid of completely eating it in a nose down situation? Now, I have fallen both with and without these on numerous times. A lot of my really bad falls were without these completely. And I did have a few nosedive situations at various speeds with these on, with various degrees of success of being able to run them out. And I feel like that was not due to these at all. And you'll see in the video coming up of me riding with these, you could get out of these very, very easily. And the way he designed them was actually extremely intelligent. You do have a little bit of grip tape on the inside that helps you sort of maintain some grip while you're riding with the nose or the side of your shoe, whatever you're riding with. And these do give you a little bit of grip against the top of your shoe to kind of hold you in. But pretend my foot is here, and as I'm riding, my toe is mainly the main object that's underneath here for me. We get to a nosedive situation here. This is where you never want to be. The first thing that happens, and this is mounted in the rear here, the first thing that happens is your rear foot comes out and swings around. Whenever you fall in a nosedive situation, your front foot hardly ever, if ever, is going to be the first object to move out and try to stop you. It's always your rear foot comes swinging out in a running situation. At that point, your foot is pretty much like this, and these are actually kind of flexible with a bend. And your front foot just peels up and out of them, almost like they're not even there. And that's what I've noticed with a lot of my falls. I'm able to peel out of them, or if I'm just in a situation where I'm off balance and I need to just bail, when you jump, you naturally bring your legs in. And that's what Colton was telling me. He worked with a bunch of professionals on body mechanics, and your legs go in when you jump. And I noticed just that without even having to think of it. And you'll see in the video, when I jump to try to bail a few times, my feet naturally come in. But yeah, let's go into some of the riding videos here, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions as we're rolling. All right, let's get into some of the riding here. This first clip I'm going to show you is just a good example of how wide of a stance I could take, and just the placement of my feet in there. My front toes are right up against the inside of that lifter where there's some grip tape. And next we're going to jump into where me and Estevan, my good buddy here, were actually wanting to practice some bonks and de-weighting over objects. And you can just see I'm having a little bit of a de-weight issue. Some good examples of all different types of bails here. Either my foot's peeling out of it, or that one there, I just had to jump out of it. And Estevan's just cruising right over it with a pint. That was actually a pretty good bonk there. And I'm having some issues with an XR, so what does that tell you? But yeah, another example of me bailing out of it, jumping out of it, and you can see I'm not really having too much of an issue getting out of them. It's not like holding me in there. But yeah, that was actually my first successful bonk over a branch. So, all right, let's get some riding in here. And you can see that these trails are pretty damp, and it just rained not too long before here. And I figured this would be a great example to show when I see a lot of benefit from these lifters. Now, these trails are some of my favorite trails. There's not too much going on this specific loop here. This loop's actually really fast and a lot of fun to try to really compete with your local community and try to get as fast as possible. It's kind of like a really fun racetrack. Not too many features, not too crazy, but when you're on the edge, it does feel kind of sketchy. When you are rolling in damp dirt, especially with, you know, the shoes that I got, there's really not a whole lot that I could say that really makes me feel like I'm completely in control of the board. I find that my feet are actually pretty slippery when they are damp on the grip tape, and I just don't feel like I have that control that I really want to feel. And then sometimes in some rhythm sections, it can get kind of sketchy because your foot's kind of sliding around a little bit. And being that I have some mobility issues, kind of makes things a lot worse. It exacerbates the issue quite a bit. So in situations like this, I kind of feel like this is a necessary tool for me, and kind of one of those never leave home without it type situations. Now, again, I just want to stress that I'm not 100% always using these. I'm now practicing rolling without them, and because I want to make sure I maintain being able to ride with and without the lifters, and just keep the lifters as an essential tool to me to kind of help me out in my mobility issues. But overall, I gotta say these lifters definitely enhance my riding ability and my comfortability on the board. Hey, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Just to sum it up, the Overlander lifters, I absolutely love them. They're not on the board right now because, number one, we were in a Christmas parade locally to us, a lot of us OneWheel and PEV riders, and that was an absolute amazing experience. So I had to had to get the Christmas lights on. But number two, I want to be a competent rider both in and out of them. I'm still a new rider. I still have a lot to learn. But if I'm going down any chunky trails, I'm definitely throwing these back on, because anything that's going to secure me to the board a little bit more, give me a little bit more of that secure feeling in my mind, and actually keep my front foot from bouncing off in some of these chunkier trails we have up here, is going to be absolutely helpful for me. I don't really do too much tricking. I'm still practicing curb nudges and things like that, but you know, if I ever want to get into that, you know, maybe this will help me. I'm not really sure, but mainly for trail riding, I highly recommend this. And again, compared to flight fins, I know a lot of people that swear by them and absolutely love them. I feel like they are just purely two different tools to accomplish the same thing. They're just two separate tools altogether. I don't really feel like one is better than the other. It's just for some people, one may work. For other people, the other may work. Maybe a combination of the two will work. You have your options, and that's why I'm bringing this out there, because there is a lot of options on how to mod your OneWheel and make it personal to you, make the riding experience personal to you. And I feel that a lot of people do not know about these yet that may actually want something kind of like this, and it's out there, everyone. Be safe, be happy. Go outside, get some fresh air. It's a little bit cold out. Stay warm. Everyone, catch you all next time. Crash out.